Another 25-year Isla. I know, but it's going to be the last one for a while, so let's hope that it's as good as the last one, because if so, it's going to be a good one. Okay, last one of the tax return splurge, ARDBEG 25. And look at this awesome box. This presentation is very nice. Didn't enjoy trying to get the Laphroaig 25 out of its box, but that's another story. Coming in at 46% alcohol, 25 years in ex-bourbon barrels. This ARDBEG is going to be fantastic. I love me some ARDBEG, and I could not resist buying this bottle, so I hope you enjoyed this review. I enjoyed the whiskey a lot, and cheers, guys. I promise, this is going to be the last 25-year Islay on the channel for a bit. I'm done buying whiskey for a while. I got 2 good bottles with the tax return, so now we're done. So, ARDBEG 25. It was a little bit more expensive than the Laphroaig at $900. Older ARDBEGs are harder to come by, so I think the supply is just way lower, which means the price is going to go up. But anyway, I'm hoping that the higher price tag also means a better experience. It's hard to get better than the last one, other than the value, which it's not better value. So, let's see what the nose is. Okay, just like the Laphroaig 25, this is the first time pouring this out, first time smelling it, so let's try it. I am not expecting to like barely get any peat smoke out of an ARDBEG, because if you look at that one, that's a punch in the nose. Again, not a bad thing, but the 25 years in ex-bourbon barrels, it really mutes that peat. It's a little more smoke than the Laphroaig is, but this is wonderful because you can smell a little more of the complexities that ARDBEG can give you. So I'm getting some pine needles, a little bit of cereal, and in fact, if you went into like the Yankee candle store and found a cereal scented candle, that's what I'm getting out of that too. Just some grains with like a burny wax. It's actually, I think it might be a little brighter than the Laphroaig on the nose. A lot of nice brine as well, and a smidge of like some meat notes, but again, less meat notes than what the Laphroaig nose had. I don't think this nose is quite as popping out to me that the Laphroaig was, but it's still a very nice nose. It just kind of seems a little muddled together, if that makes sense. It kind of blends nicely because the peat's not overbearing, but the other notes are kind of the same as the peat. It's a little more earth tones than it was with the Laphroaig, which kind of had a little more fruit pops and spices to it. So I'm just gonna say this is a darker nose because of the earth tones, and it's good, but it's not quite as poppy as Laphroaig was. So there's the nose. Okay, first sip of ARDBEG 25. Let's hope it's a great one. There's the peat. Wow, I was not expecting that on the palate based on what I was smelling. That's a lot more what I'm expecting from an ARDBEG. Now again, ARDBEG malts are around 50 to 55 ppms, and 25 years in ex-bourbon, I don't think can get rid of all of it. So it's very peaty, way more than the nose, and it's hard for me to get through that right now. So let's do a second sip. Okay, that one was better. And crazily to me, this is 5% less alcohol than Laphroaig was, but it kind of like tastes hotter. And again, that we have the peat, thank for that. But I'm actually getting some vanilla notes on there, and kind of like a sweet cereal, like some frosted mini wheats. So vanilla, some frosted mini wheats. I was not expecting that because the first sip was a lot of smoke. And definitely some grains, obviously, with that cereal. Little bit of baking spices. This is becoming a little more wonderful, and I think the finish is going, it's warmer and probably going to be longer because of the extra peat on the palate than the Laphroaig is. Whoa, this is a good one. Ooh. There's a little bit of like citrus zesty pop in there. It's kind of reminded me of the Kilchoman Sauternes, which was, it's kind of like not super like this note, but it's reminding me of that lemon sherbet. It's not, definitely not quite as sweet. Again, just ex-bourbon, which is where that vanilla is coming from. But I'm getting a little bit of like a citrus pop with some leather, kind of like you like squeeze the lemon over like a leather strap. That's a good visual for you. This is a very good palate. I think the palate for me on the ARDBEG 25 is better, more enjoyable than the nose was, and I can already tell those legs. Actually, we haven't talked about that. Let's just look at the color. The color on this is a little more paler than the Lefroy 25, but the legs are just as slow. This is a very, very viscous whiskey. Another like ARDBEG bubblegum. You could just chew on this whiskey and savor it for hours, which is what I'm going to do. You do not drink this stuff fast. You savor every freaking drop because it's expensive, but it's also very good. I know that the price tag is high, but again, the supply is low. This is drinking way better than the Bowmore 25. Not quite better than the Lefroy, but it's very close. This is a good palate. Okay, the big moment, ratings time. For the nose, again, I said it was a little muddled, and I'm gonna stand by that. It's not muddled in a bad way, it's just there's a lot of similar notes that they do blend, but then there's no like other ones that pop out to me. So I enjoyed the nose, but I'm gonna give it a 4.25, I think. The Lefroy just had extra layers to it, and it was just much, much better in my opinion. So I'm gonna give it a 4.25 on the nose. However, the palate, giving the palate a 5. 3 sips, and each sip I had, I got a new note, I got a new experience, and it was just awesome. So let's do a 4th sip. Yes, that is a good whiskey. And again, I like that this one actually has a bit more of like a smoke punch to it. It's very good. And it also says that I don't just like the sweet stuff. Like I really, really do like full-on peaty Islas. That's exactly what ARDBEG's gonna give you. 25 years or not. It's less punchy than that, obviously, but this is still good, and you get a little of the cereals, the citrus zest. Just a lot of good notes in this whiskey. Shows a lot of the character, shows a lot of the age, and a lot of the complexities that you can get when you just wait for a whiskey, so 5 on the palate. Now, what kind of guy would I be if I didn't give this finish a 5, huh? This is one of the longest lasting finishes I've had out of an Islay in a very long time. The only ones that can rival it are Lefroy 25 and any of the Octomores, but other than that, this thing stands alone. And I've had, what, 4 sips? I'm getting a lot of, like, nutmeggy, cinnamon, vanilla, peat right off my tongue. And again, because it's so viscous and thick, it layers down, and it is just very, very good. And just talking is awesome because I get that off, and I get the flavors while I'm talking, which is just amazing. So you can sit here for an hour or two with just one dram, as Scotch Father says, the session dram, and just enjoy every moment of it, because you should, because it's a very good whiskey. So a 5 on the finish. Okay, so the value is going to be, again, weird a little bit on this one. Again, so $900. I am not like a whiskey market pro, but I do live, again, closer to DC, so my prices are a little higher. You could probably get this under $850, maybe even under $800, depending on where you are. But I think the price is more because of the supply-demand issue, and not necessarily because they're trying to pump out like a bloated whiskey price like Bowmore would, or Macallan would, or Michter's would, or any of those distilleries would do. I think it's literally just because old ARDBEGs are not that common. However, that being said, it is a steep price tag for something that I don't think quite as an overall experience matches up to a one that was like $250 less money. So I'm going to give the value, I realize I gave the Lefroy 25 a 4 in the value, but I'm going to just give this one a 4 as well, only because if the supply of old ARDBEGs kind of match the supply of old Lefroy's, then maybe I would give it like a less score. But because I think it's just like a less common thing to grab, again, I think there's like 2 boxes left at my store, then I'm just going to go ahead and just do the 4. I think that's fair. So yeah, 4 for the value. Okay, so overall, 18.25. Solid score. Good whiskey. Didn't quite match up to Lefroy, but again, I think the nose difference here was the main factor in the difference in the scores. So, good bottle. Would I buy it again? I don't know. Maybe if I found like an older Ardbeg that was maybe matured with like any sherry, that would be awesome. Or like maybe a French wine or something. Just full-on ex-bourbon. I've been there, done that, so maybe some other like complexities I might grab another bottle for. But that being said, still a good bottle. If you have a chance to try it, definitely don't buy the bottle, but try it, and you like Islays, I would recommend it for sure. If you like this video and you want to see more every Wednesday, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like it as well. Helps me out a lot. Love everybody that already does. Love all my subscribers. You guys are great, and see you guys next time.